Bro, that's a hell of a resume.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but congratulations on all the accomplishments.
Yeah, thank you.
So what is it about, like, I mean, at such an early age, like, what do you think it was your mom, or do you think it was you, like, internally? But what was it about cooking at a young age that you knew that that's what you wanted to do?
I think I'm like a quintessential Italian household, right? Like, I'm first generation American. I had my nonna was like in the kitchen all the time, cooking. We would eat Sundays at the house. My mom would cook. Single mother, like raised by a single mother, still dinner on the table every single night. So it was this kind of balance of like, cooking isn't just like nourishment and sustaining, like being able to feed your family, but it's also like a matter of work ethic, right? My mom worked 9 to 5, picked us up from school, and then still put dinner on the table every single night. So It was like kind of a sign of like, okay, this is what hard work means.
Yeah.
And I've just always loved cooking. I think it was something I've always passionate about. Obviously I was a kid. I watched Boy Meets World, Saved by the Bell, whatever. But like, also I would watch cooking shows all the time. And I think as the Food Network first started, and old Emeril's old shows, and old Bobby Flay, and Too Hot Tamales, and like all these shows that I grew up watching, the food, I kind of grew up with the Food Network, right? And I loved cooking my whole life. And I was very lucky. My mom is an incredible cook. My grandmother was an incredible cook. My grandmother on my Argentine side, fantastic cook. My dad does parrilla, so we do asados. And it's just always been like, maybe like the one sense of peace in crazy household was like at the dinner table. And food was always just so important to us. And it's just something I've always loved. And I think people constantly are like, when did you know you wanted to be a chef? Like, when did it click? And I don't really have an answer. It's the only thing I've ever known. Never really wanted, like, I never had dreams of being a firefighter. I never wanted to be a sports star. I was like, I'm going to be a chef. That's what I'm going to do. In like high school was like, great, sure, whatever. This is fine. I'm going to cook. That wasn't that important to me. Like the only thing I ever wanted to do was cook. It's all I ever cared about. And I never like took my SATs. I got into Johnson & Wales because I entered like a recipe contest and I got a scholarship to Johnson & Wales. And then, right, we talk about like leaving Johnson & Wales, and I was just like, I was like so good in school. And I was like, this is not a challenge. Like, this is boring. I don't love this. Like, and so I just went into the real world. And it was at the end of the time, I was working under a really like one of my mentors. His name was Adam Votaw. I was 17, 18. And going to school, I would go to school 7 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, leave school, which was up here in North Miami, drive to the Gables, work dinner service all night, get home at midnight, wake up at 5:30, 6 in the morning to drive to North Miami again. It was crazy. Yeah. And I'd go to work and I'd be like, chef, I learned this and this. And he'd be like, it's great. You work for me. You know what I mean? You do what I say.
Right.
Chef, well, what about, he's like, put your head down and work. And I was like, okay, I'll put my head down and I'll work. And I was just like, I was learning, everything I would learn in school was like outdated, and it just didn't really click for me. Yes, I understood the fundamentals, but I had known the fundamentals because I've been doing the fundamentals my whole life.
Right.
And then I was very fortunate to work. What's pretty crazy is like, yes, this is an amazing bio, right? Like beautifully done by the PR team. But I've worked in, other than my own, I've worked in 2 restaurants my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah. I never wanted to go to Europe. I never wanted to go work under a Michelin starred chef. I never wanted to be like a robot and say like, I am this person's disciple. I just wanted to, I learned how to run restaurants, and I developed my own style, which I'm very fortunate for. But I learned, the concept of hard work. I learned the concept of managing a staff, how to run restaurants, how to, at this restaurant we were at, it was called Chispa. It was like this hot new Latin concept in the Gables. It was like CNBC, and it was madness. We were doing 700-800 covers on a Friday night. It was insanity.
That's insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
That was my...
That's your first experience.
First thing, 17 years old.
Wow.
Monster line cooks, right? Like beasts. And I'm a kid. I'm 17, I'm 18 years old. And I'm with monster cooks. Monsters, like monsters. And I was like, all right, I got to hold up.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. It was yes chef, no chef. I'd go in on my days off, no days off, right? Like for me, no days off, right? Go in, work for free, put my head down. You got an event? I'll do it. You want me to do this? I'll do it. Like, how much do you pay him? I pay him? Okay, I'll do it for less.
Yeah.
That's how I made my way.
I think we're missing that too, like in this day and age. Man. Just like hearing you say that, it brings back memories of me in a different field, obviously, but the same mentality. It was like, yeah, I was learning in school, but no, I wanted to get as close to the strength coach as possible.
Yeah.
I wanted to experience it. Like, I didn't want to just read about it. I didn't want to do like lab report. No, I wanted to be in it.
Yeah, I want to suffer.
Know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I wanted to do it for free because I knew that eventually it was going to pay off. Now, you know, you get these 18-year-old kids that are like, how much you going to pay me? Like, it's like, no, it doesn't work.
I made
like
$8.25.
Yeah.
$8.25 an hour.
Yeah.
Sure. But I didn't even like negotiate. Sure. Whatever.
Yeah.
You could have told me I paid $5. Great. And it was my first gig. And I worked there for 4 years. I eventually ended up being the chef de cuisine and running their new location. You know, I learned everything. I knew the ins and outs of that restaurant.
Yeah.
I did pastry, I did fryer, I did everything. Didn't matter. Like, I could have told you what the servers did.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly why you ended up where
I did that for 4 years.
Right.
Then the restaurant closed. The owners got into some hardship. Restaurant closed. Had to find another job. Went to go work at another restaurant for a couple months to help out an old chef. Then I got a call saying, hey, do you want to come check out this hotel? That was the Anglers, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And then I've been my own boss since I was 26 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome.
That's great.
It's awesome.
When you got the call to be like your own boss, like what was that like? Like what was that feeling like?
So I think it all had to do with Chopped, right?
Yeah.
So May of 2011, I get a call from the Food Network, and they're like, hey, we're calling to cast on Chopped. I'm like, sure. Listen, my mom's dream, the Food Network, right? I was like, my mom's going to see me on the Food Network. I'm going to do this for her.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm going to do it for my mom. I'm going to go on the show. My goal is like, my mom's going to be able to say like, she's seen me on the Food Network, something that we grew up watching together, right? It was very important to me. I won. Great. Beautiful. It was awesome. Like, honestly, I crushed it. It was great.
Was it a good experience?
Yeah, it was great. Like I crushed. Like I really crushed on the show.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful. And then it's like, here's an NDA. Stay quiet for 6 months. Don't tell a soul. It's like, all right. Didn't say a word. I get the call, like, your show's going to air January. And I'm like, okay, great. Mind you, I'll go back and we'll talk about like the phone call.
Yeah.
So I guess whatever. Anyway, let's talk about that. So 3 months after Chopped, I get a phone call. It's a judge. His name's Chris Santos. Really cool. Like super into like hardcore tattoos, like the dude, right?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, my name's Chris. I was your judge on Chopped. I said, chef, how are you? How you been? He's like, listen, I have an opportunity. I have a chef position for this restaurant that I'm opening. I'd love for you to come out. This was solely him watching me for an hour on Chopped. He watched me make 3 dishes. And he was like, you're the dude. Like, I've never seen anybody like you on the show. Come run my restaurants. Fly up to New York. And the whole thing in New York's happening. I'm at the restaurants for a week, blah, 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 And it just wasn't me. Like, I'm a Miami boy. New York wasn't for me. And I said, chef, like, I appreciate everything. It's been, amazing. I'm beyond honored that you even think of me, but like, Miami's home, And then he's like, okay. He's like, listen, I respect that. He's like, but whatever you do, get out of Miami. That food scene's never going to happen. And I hung up the phone and I said, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in. Okay. Put me up to the test. Let's make it happen. Okay. So then I'm watching Chop. Everything's happening. Like, okay, your show's airing in January. Great. And then there's like 4 or 5 other chefs from Miami that go before me. Not so fortunate. None of them win. And then I'm like doing the math. I'm like, dude, I'm the first one that's going to win on TV.
Yeah.
We got to do something. My partner, Alex Casanova, my business partner, to this day, we were roommates. We are Shake and Bake Hospitality because him and I used to DJ together, and our DJ group was Shake and Bake.
No way. Okay.
Yeah, mind you, DJ in our apartment. Like, we were living in this apartment complex in Miami Beach. Like,
one of my best friends that I play football with, his nickname was Shake and Bake.
I love that. Yeah. That was great. Yeah, like we were in this building in North Miami, in North Beach, like older crowd, and we were like the only young ones there. We'd get in so much trouble, just like with the loud music, whatever. So we were Shake and Bake. Anyways, so I'm like, Cass, like my buddy's a manager at the Clevelander. I am at the Anglers, health insurance, paid leave, 401k, the works. And I'm like, dude, let's quit our jobs. Let's open a restaurant. It's like, all right, let's do it. So we started looking around like, I don't know what it takes to open a restaurant, right? I'm like, okay, we have a month to open a restaurant. I think it's going to happen. We're looking, we're like, this is never going to happen.
A month?
Yeah, I didn't know.
That was a little naive.
Yeah, I had no idea, man. I had no clue.
Yeah.
And then,
especially in Miami.
Yeah, I had no clue.
Can't even get
but
a
around
permit.
the time, a restaurant near this area, Fukia, was like the first pop-up restaurant ever. I'm like, dude, let's open a pop-up restaurant.
So you know Annie?
Yeah.
I love
so
Annie.
like, they were the first ones. Fukia, like everyone's like Eating House, Miami's first pop. I'm like, no, Fukia was the first pop-up ever. Right. Like I give them credit all the time. We just were like, they were like in a hallway you know, like real deal. We were like able to create a restaurant concept. So we find this restaurant that's open for breakfast and lunch. It's a bakery, like a Cuban bakery in Coral Gables. And I'm like, we figure it out. Let's pay half the rent. We use that at night. I'm like, all right, let's do this. The show aired like middle of January. Eating House opened the first week of February. Like, quit our jobs, left it all on the table. We're just like, we quit, put our notice in. Let's figure out our lives then. You know, like high risk, high reward. And we just opened Eating House in 2012 as a pop-up. And it was 6 months of just like madness. It was crazy, like lines. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like every day was a different menu. We would just go to we had no like purveyors. We would just go to the grocery store, whatever worked. Like, everyone's like, you know, like our famous thing for brunch are these Captain Crunch pancakes. Well, those just happened to exist because Captain Crunch was buy one, get one free that week, you know? Like, that's why it worked. And we just like, we did whatever we could.
Somebody else does those Captain Crunch in LA.
Do they?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's like Captain Crunch French
toast. Yeah, I've seen that.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. So they like crust them.
Yeah.
We actually like mill the cereal into a flour.
Okay.
And like make the entire pancake taste like Captain. It's a lot of work. Yeah. And the original concept was like, we were going to do a different cereal every week, but it just like stuck with Captain Crunch because they were BOGO and we're like, these are the move. So it's been, 10 years of buying. It's crazy. Like we use all these incredible ingredients and then there's like boxes of Captain Crunch at the restaurant. And Eating House was just like awesome, man. It was just a massive, it took off. It was great. We were like